Sacked COPE member and Joburg Council Speaker Colleen Makhubele has today briefed the media following her expulsion from the party on Monday. COPE says Makhubele signed the party up with the South African Rainbow Alliance without involving party leaders. SARA is a coalition of political parties and civil society organizations hoping to jointly contest the elections. Reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is covering this story for us, and he joins us now live just to tell us more. Pule, before we talk about this alliance, just help us in terms of what SARA is, how she still formed part of COPE, etc. Because when that banner was released of SARA, it had her face on it, looking as though she's the president of a new party.
Yeah. Well, good day, Masechon. As far as we understand, the former Speaker of Johannesburg, Colleen Makhubele, says that the leader of COPE, Lekota, was part of those meetings between COPE and SARA as well, which is, of course, a different story from what we heard initially when we were told that the reason why Colleen was fired was as a result of how she had COPE affiliated to SARA without having the correct consent from the leadership of COPE as well. But forging ahead, of course, Colleen and other parties were part of SARA. Now, there's about 5 minority parties, which includes ICM and, of course, the NFP, say that they want to change the status quo. They will be contacting other minority parties to form part of this alliance. As far as we understand, it's yet to be registered with the IEC. But, of course, once it is registered, these parties will then come together. We also now know that SARA will be contacting BOSA as well, of course, which is led by Musi Maimane. And really, that's about the agenda they have. They're yet to sit for their national conference as well, where they'll draft out their policy plan. But as far as we know, Colleen has said that she was really betrayed by COPE. She was not notified when she was fired. And therefore, what this has essentially done is that it has caused instability within the coalition agreement in the city of Johannesburg. Of course, this would be the EFF, the ANC, COPE, and other minority parties as well. But let's just take a listen to what those who are part of SARA had to say earlier on.
We have created SARA as an alliance. Why we did that? We did that, those of you who are involved in politics, you would know. 2019 elections was contested by 48 parties. How many parties are in parliament? 14. What happened to the 34 parties? They eat dust. They never lived to tell the story. At a huge cost. And amongst the cost is 309,000 wasted votes. And if you take the quota, you divide by those votes, 8 seats in parliament went to waste. I feel sorry for the people that voted for those parties, because their votes were wasted. Can put it in whichever way you want. And that is to the advantage of the bigger parties. That is to the advantage of preserving the status quo. We want to change the status quo. We are not abandoning our parties. Our parties are still in existence.
So you say that she says she was stabbed in the back by the leaders, etc. What else does she say? Did she not expect this to happen, if it's true that she actually didn't tell them what SARA is really about?
So what we're picking up here is that it seems as though the leader of COPE was really upset with how things unfolded. And according to what we're getting from this press briefing here, COPE, and of course, was part of the parties that had a series of meetings with those who are part of SARA for about 2 weeks as well. And it seems as though they were then going forward to vote for who would be the face or the preferred president for SARA. And therefore, the partners agreed, who are part of SARA, that Colleen Makhubele would be the preferred leader for the movement, which is newly formed as well. Colleen goes in to explain that Tera Lekota, of course, from COPE, was not happy with this decision that was taken, and therefore, when she stepped out of their last meeting with SARA, she then received a message that her membership had been terminated and that she was no longer part of COPE anymore. And she learned through the media as well, saying that there was no formal communication to her that she will no longer be a part of COPE as well. And as far as we understand, we've been trying to get hold of COPE just to establish really if whether what has been Colleen here is true. We're still waiting for them to get back to us and respond to our questions. But Colleen says that what she's even upset about is that she was removed from the speaker position. And therefore, like I said, what this will do now is that the ANC has said really that they're not quite happy with how she was, of course, ousted out of that position, because being a speaker is really a key position where you should have to, play oversight when it comes to things that have to be passed through council, such as budget reports, amongst other crucial items as well. So for now, SARA says it all focus on the 2024 elections. They believe that they got what it takes to compete within the political space as well. But of course, with the timing of things and with the elections being in the next coming year, it looks as though things may be very tight for them. But let's just take a listen to what Ms. Makhubele from now SARA had to say.
Let me tell you, the past 2 days have been a shock. I've recovered from the shock, and there was sadness. I've recovered from the sadness. There was a bit of tears. I've recovered from the tears as well because of the betrayal, the manner in which things were done, the disingenuous nature of how this operation was carried out. In the media, no information, but somebody who knew exactly what was happening.
All right, Pule Letshwiti-Jones with that report on where Colleen Makhubele now belongs.